Kane threatens Victor's life, and Sharon comes unglued after leaves the estate. Victor tells his family that Mariah was seen at a convenience store buying food. His certain burrow will bring the boy back. Nikki circles back to Lily. Victor says she went on with his plan because Kane went too far. Victoria is skeptical she chose him over the father of her children. They all want to know what Victor's agreement with Lily entails. He isn't forthcoming and shouts at Nikki to stop questioning him. I've had it. Formerly alone, Victoria and Nikki phenomenon at Victor faking and hijacking when his own grandson has been abducted. Victoria gripes about her father's secretiveness and Nikki defends him he's spooked. Victoria worries that Lily's not actually on board. Nikki thinks she could be tutoring Kane or assignment. She questions if Kane will delve or double down. They continue to presume about Kane. Nikki thinks he's missing a heart. They may be out of options and could lose everything. Dear John at Sharon's place, Noah can't find Sienna, and his mama updates him that they still haven't set up Mariah. Noah learns Burrow has dislocated and is taking the case. Circling back to Sienna, he tells his mama she's gone and so is her wallet. Noah fears she's gone back to LA. He tries calling and gets her voicemail before noticing a note on the office. He reads it and tells Sharon, "She left me." The letter says she's moving on and he can't come with her, he belongs with his family. Sharon tells her son she's sorry. Noah asks if she said commodity to make her leave. Did Peter? Isn't this what you both wanted? Sharon vehemently denies it and calls Sienna dastardly for handling effects this way. Backtracking, she decides the woman aloud. This was easier. Noah declares that if she doesn't want him to follow her, that's too bad. I'm going to LA. Sharon tries to talk Noah out of pursuing Sienna. He comes from a prominent family, which can be bogarting. It's not what she wants. Noah explodes. He loves her. Why is his mama trying to stop him? Sharon tears up. She nearly lost him and can't stand the idea of losing him and Mariah each over again. The grief and pain is too important. Holden's new assignment on the Kane train. Holden's frustrated that he hasn't heard from his master in a while. Kane has several openings for him in his new company, but first he needs him to do commodity of a more particular nature. Kane's trusting him with commodity of the loftiest precedence. He confides that he's hired a private investigator in LA to find his family. He wants Holden to oversee it. He's counting on him to find them. Holden asks questions. Kane needs to make sure they're okay. Holden asks, "What are you not telling me about this?" If Victor is out for blood, he doesn't want it to be his. Kane reassures Holden, who confirms he's in. Ashby warns this discussion stays between them. He needs him to fly out tonight. Holden will be in touch. Formerly alone, Kane muses, "Check. Your move, Victor." Victor and Jack spar ponying up to the club bar. Victor runs into Kyle and Jack, who asks about Mariah and Dom before telling the Black Knight he looks tired. Victor chuckles, "Are you concerned?" After the mustache moves to a table, Jack needles him about losing his company. Victor warns that effects are no way as they feel to be. Turning the tables, Victor incitements Jack. He heard that Jabbo's in trouble. Rising to the bait, Jack calls Victor a failure. Victor flurries that Jabbo is in free fall. Jack sensations that Kane's AI was useful after all. It brought Victor to his knees. It couldn't be to a further meritorious sonofabich. Jack retreats to the bar as Victor meets with a white-haired man. Kyle wonders what the meeting is each about. Chelsea freaks out at the coffee shop. Adam tells Chelsea that Lily went on with Victor's hijacking. His father claims he's formally done it. He warns that Kane hovered to turn the table on his father. Chelsea worries he'll target their kiddies. He could go after Connor. This is going too far and she won't tolerate it. Adam reminds Chelsea there's security on all of the kiddies. He can't call this off. Chelsea isn't sure she'll ever be suitable to trust Victor. Also at Crimson Lights, Holden meets Claire and tells her he's going out of city on business tonight. Audra arrives on the yacht and positions herself to hear in. Claire teases Holden about being a man of riddle. She's still induced his caching commodity. He invites her to come to LA with him and find out. Audra doesn't look happy. Audra makes faces as Holden promises Claire that he'll make time for lots of fun like they had on their last trip. In their cell, Chelsea tells Adam that Victor must have offered Lily commodity significant after the way he squinched her over at Chancellor. A piece of the action. Adam frowns. He wouldn't take Chancellor from Nikki, and Lily works in her family business. His father won't entrust in him presently. Chelsea says Victor's withholding information, which means he doesn't want the family to know. And that's intimidating. The final scene's at Sharon's place. Noah apologizes for being selfish. He'll stay until they get word about Mariah. He'll give Sienna space and it'll each work out the way it's supposed to. Sharon decides that there's nothing he can do there. She wants him to be happy, however. He has to go after her, if that's Sienna. They embrace. At Crimson Lights, Holden goes for renewals and Claire recalls telling Sienna she wants to do some digging about the art dealer. When he returns, she accepts his offer to go to LA and says she has some business to take care of there. Audra frowns on the patio across the room. Adam and Chelsea continue assuming about Lily's motives. Adam thinks it's bigger than vengeance. He intends to find out what it is at the estate. Victoria tells Nikki that they need to hit Phyllis and Kane from every side. She knows how to get it done. Victor makes his way onto the Kane train and asks Ashby if he's decided if he ever wants to see his family again. Kane needs evidence that he has Lily and the kiddies, and that they're unharmed. He warns that if anything happens to them, their blood will be on his hands. And your blood, he warns an amused Victor, will be on mine. The Young and the Restless, Y&R, recap Monday, February 9th, reveals that Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn, will say Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, wins and will be willing to trade the company for evidence of Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, and the half-safe release. At Society, Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinley, will formally again express mistrustfulness about Lily agreeing to Victor's plan. But Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, will suppose he must have offered her Chancellor to get her to go on with it. Victoria will hope not for Nikki Newman's, Melody Thomas Scott, sake and will prompt Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, to take it easy on his pain meds when he mentions getting a cash. Since Victoria will suppose they need a backup plan, she'll suggest going behind Victor's back and nailing Phyllis for stealing the AI program. Victoria will suppose that'll make it easier to get Phyllis to turn on Kane. Nick won't like the idea of keeping Victor in the dark, but Victoria will be adamant that they've to fight for their family heritage. In Los Angeles, Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, will play up all the fun he wants to have with Claire Newman, Haley Erin, on their trip, but he'll have to take a meeting first. Claire will quiz Holden about what he's really over to, so he'll admit he's there doing a particular thing for Kane. That'll leave Claire outraged since Kane's been targeting her family, so Holden will admit he bothered she wouldn't come if he told her before they left on their trip. Still, Claire will calm down a bit as Holden explains that Kane's family is missing. Holden will add that he's there to meet with Kane's PI and oversee the hunt. Claire will assure Holden that Victor had nothing to do with this, especially with all the abducted Dominic Winters, Ethan Ray Clark, drama going on. Once Holden leaves for his meeting, Claire will take a phone call from an art gallery proprietor and lie that she's lost the name of the Joe who possessed it ahead. Claire will get evidence on who he was and pretend she's interested in his private collection, so she'll ask if the new proprietor knows where he went or how to reach him. When Holden returns on Monday's Y&R occasion, Claire will keep him out of the circle on her digging and attempt to take down Audra Charles, Zuleika Silva. Holden will also call Kane with updates, so he'll talk about security footage showing someone in a baseball cap leading Lily and the halves down looking spooked. At the Newman estate, Victor will assure Nikki that Kane is close to caving in and will grow angry when she worries about him withholding information. Victor will rant about how he wouldn't put Neil Winters, Christophe St. John, family in real peril. One of Victor's people will text him a snap of Lily and the halves in a hostel room, so he'll show it to Nikki as evidence that they are fine. Nikki, Nick and Adam will come on and see that evidence, too. Victor will feel confident that Kane's going to surrender since he asked for substantiation that his family was unharmed. Victoria will worry about the deal not being locked in yet, but Adam will be more interested in learning what Victor promised Lily to get her to go on with this. At Newman Enterprises, Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, will wonder what the holdback is since he inked the Chancellor contract and is staying on Kane. After Kane acts like it's just a slight detention and bump in the road, Billy will worry about Kane deforming him over again. Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, will dispute with Billy before Kane angrily shuts the battle down. After getting Holden's intel and the textbook evidence from Victor, Kane will head over to the Newman estate and declare that Victor wins. However, also Kane will contend Victor can have his company back if Victor provides new substantiation that Lily and the halves are safe and that they've been released. After grilling Kane before and realizing he's going to surrender to Victor's demands, Phyllis will horrify as she realizes their plan is falling piecemeal. At Billy's place, Phyllis will show up and contend Kane's folding like a cheap roof. Phyllis will contend they're going to lose everything unless they act presto, so she'll drive for Billy's help if he wants to keep Chancellor for good. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Billy and Phyllis will enter a parlous alliance, so stay tuned for all the shocking news to come. The night was really dark over Genoa City. It was one of those nights when secrets do not just stay around. They are around you. At the Newman ranch the lights were on for a long time, making long shadows on the shiny floors. Victor Newman was standing there like a man who was looking at a problem he made for himself. His face was tense, his eyes were sharp. You could also see that he was very tired. The Newman ranch was usually quiet at this time. Tonight it was different. Victor Newman was still up thinking about his problems. This is not about being really tired from doing something, but the kind of tiredness that a man feels when he does something that he knows is wrong and he cannot take it back. The man has done something that makes him feel bad and now he has to live with it. He cannot just forget about it. Go back to how things were before. He has crossed a line. Now he has to deal with the consequences of his actions, and that is what is making him feel so worn out. Victor's phone buzzed again. For a moment Nikki saw fear in his eyes. Then he hid it. That was enough to scare her. She had been with Victor through some tough times. They had dealt with people betraying them, wars, and times when Victor was struggling with addiction. There were times when they almost died. This thing that was bothering Victor now felt different. It really worried Nikki. Victor's phone buzzing and him being scared was not something she was used to seeing. The fear in his eyes was something that stuck with her. Nikki said this quietly, her voice was steady but you could tell it was strained. She was telling him that he was still not telling them everything. And every time he did this, every time he shut the people around him out, he put all of the people, including Nikki, at risk. Victor turned to her fast, his voice was extremely loud. I have the situation under control. Victoria flinched. Do you really think that is an idea? She asked her father. Because from where Victoria's standing, her father staged a kidnapping, and that is a pretty bad thing to do when his own grandson is actually missing. The Victoria family is in a spot. That is not a plan, Dad. That is just being reckless with the Victoria family's safety. The room fell silent. It was like nobody was breathing. The room was completely silent. There was no sound all in the room. Victor's silence was worse than his anger. He said this after a while. His voice was low and it sounded like he was angry. Kane Ashby did something bad when he said he would hurt my family. Kane Ashby had to know that he should not mess with me. I had to teach Kane Ashby a lesson so he knows what happens when he threatens my family. What about Lily? Nikki asked. Do you really think we will believe that Lily just went along with this? Victor did not. That really said everything about Victor. Across town, Sharon's house felt like it was falling apart because of all the sadness. The air felt heavy with fear. A lot of pain. Noah just stood there not moving, and the letter in his hand was shaking. Sienna's words were soft. They were final and really hurtful. She told Noah that she loved him. She was going away. Sienna thought that Noah should be with his family, not following her around the coast. Noah said this quietly, his voice shaking. He felt like she did not even give Noah a chance. She made the decision for Noah. Sharon saw her son Noah fall apart. She felt guilty. It was like something was cutting her heart. She wanted things to be okay for Noah. She wanted him to be safe. Not this way. Sharon wanted Noah to be happy and safe, not like he was now. Sharon said that really fast. Then she started crying. She said, you did not make her leave, and your father did not make her leave either. The lady made a choice because she thought it would be easier for her that way. For who is this supposed to be good? Noah said in a tone. It really hurts me, that is, for sure. He turned away, walking back and forth like an animal that cannot get out. I almost lost Mariah. I could lose Mariah at any moment. Now I am supposed to just stay here and accept that Mariah The woman I love left without even saying goodbye to me? Sharon broke down then. I do not want to lose you, she said and sobbed. I do not want to go through this every night waiting for the phone to ring and wondering if Sharon's loved one is safe. Sharon cannot do this. It is too much for Sharon to handle, thinking about Sharon's loved one and waiting to see if they will be okay. Noah stopped what he was doing. Then he walked across the room. He did this slowly. Noah crossed the room. Then he pulled the girl into his arms. The girl was now in Noah's arms. He said that he is not leaving tonight. He said this in a voice. He is not going anywhere until they know what is going on with Mariah. After they find out about Mariah, he needs to live his life. He really needs to live his life and do what he wants to do with Mariah being taken care of. Sharon nodded against his shoulder. She knew that he was right. That really bothered her that he was right about this thing. Sharon just did not like that he was correct. It made her feel bad about the situation with him. On the train that was cutting through the darkness, Kane Ashby was staring out the window. The city lights were blurring together into streaks of gold and shadow. Kane Ashby looked really calm, composed on the outside, but on the inside the private train and everything around Kane Ashby was not okay. Everything inside of Kane Ashby was actually falling apart. Holden Novak was sitting across from him. You could see the tension all over his face. Holden said this carefully. You hired an investigator in Los Angeles. You did not tell me that Victor was watching us like a shark waiting to attack. Kane said, I did not want you to get hurt. He thought about Victor Newman. Said Victor Newman does not just hurt the people he does not like. He completely ruins their lives. The man is ruthless. Holden looked at him closely. What is it that you are not telling me? Kane let his breath out slowly. If Victor really has Lily and my kids, he said. If something bad happens to them. His voice got a lot tougher. There will be no talking about making a deal. No more following the rules when it comes to Victor and what he has done to my family, to Lily and my kids. Holden nodded with a face. He said, I will be in charge of the search. I will do it myself. As Holden left to make arrangements, Kane let his guard down for a second. He put his fingers on the glass. He said, check. Now it is your turn, Victor. At the athletic club, Victor and Jack Abbott walked around each other being very mean. They did not like each other. They had been fighting for a time. Victor and Jack Abbott had a lot of feelings between them. Victor and Jack Abbott had hurt each other before. Jack said to me, you look really tired. He was smirking at me. Having all that power and then losing it must be very tiring. For the power, I mean the power that the person has, the power is slipping away from them. That is what is exhausting. For the person who has the power. Victor laughed in a way. He said to Jack, you do not look like someone who really cares, Jack. Oh, I do not have any worries, Jack said quickly. I am having a time watching this. The artificial intelligence project that Kane is working on was able to beat you fast, even faster than I could have done it. Kane's AI project is really something. It took you down quickly. Victor's eyes got really small. He said, things are never what they seem to be. With the things that are going on around us, the things that we see and experience with our eyes, these things are never what they seem. Jack leaned in. Said, you are not either. The tension was really bad. Then Victor got up and said he had to go. He was going to meet someone. He did not say who this person was. Kyle stayed behind. He felt really uneasy. He was watching Victor leave. He did not know what to think about Victor meeting with this mysterious associate. The whole situation made Kyle feel strange. He was worried about what was going on with Victor and this associate. Kyle said, what is he doing now? He sounded really annoyed. He was talking to himself, wondering what this person was up to now. Kyle was clearly frustrated with this person. What they were doing. Jack did not answer. Jack Abbott had a feeling, and Jack Abbott had learned to trust those bad feelings. At Crimson Lights, Chelsea's fear boiled over. This is completely crazy, she said to Adam in an angry voice. Kane said he would hurt your father. What if Kane tries to hurt Connor? Adam got really tense. He will not be able to do that, Adam said. The security at this place is really strong and tight. People always say that, Chelsea said loudly. Something bad has to happen before people actually do something about the problem, like the problem with Chelsea's situation. Chelsea thinks that people only react when the Chelsea's problem becomes an issue. Adam sighed. I do not trust my father either, not anymore when it comes to my father, because my father has done some things that make me question my father. Across the room, Holden was talking to Claire. He was really good at it. He asked her to come to Los Angeles with him. He did not tell her the truth, but he told her enough to make her want to know more about the Los Angeles trip. Holden was being careful about what he said to Claire. Audra stood on the patio. She watched. Her smile was not very big. Her eyes were thinking about something. The smile on Audra's face was tight. Audra's eyes were calculating what would happen next. When Claire said yes to Holden's invitation, Audra's nails really dug into her palm. This was a big deal for Claire, and now Audra was getting really upset. Claire was going to go with Holden, and Audra did not like that at all. Something was getting away from Audra Charles. That was not okay. Audra Charles always did something about it when things started to slip out of her hands. Audra Charles never gave up without a fight. Back at the ranch, Victor finally got the message he had been waiting for. A picture showed up on his phone. It was Lily Winters sitting up in a hotel.